One of the most exciting and scary technological advances that has been gaining momentum in the world is artificial intelligence, or simply known as AI. It is also controversial, and many of you may be upset about it taking the place of human artists and creators. I personally don't want it to replace the hands-on artist, but as someone who dabbles in both hands-on and digital art, I find it fascinating. And I'll be continuing to experiment with it, and I will also create future videos on the problems, concerns, and innovations with this progression. However, today I am going to demonstrate how to use public domain images and text prompts to create something new. Hi, my name is Donna. Welcome to my channel, Dylan Creates. Let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, I do want you to note that what I'm showing you is only for public domain, copyright-free images only. Although you could use licensed images in this way, you could only use them for your own personal use and entertainment. You cannot use those in commercial products such as print on demand or to resell as digital downloads. That being said, let's go ahead and get into how we can do this with the public domain. If you didn't see my last video, I explored the Library of Congress's collection of public domain images that anyone can download and use for reproduction and inspiration, whether it's for personal projects or commercial use. Now, I'm going to show you a unique way to use those images. I'm here at my favorite AI generator, Night Cafe. It's my favorite because for the most part, it's free. I only use it free. I do not have a pro subscription. AI is only a small part of some of my design work. I'm still experimenting. Plus, I do not have the budget to maintain something that I only use occasionally. And every day, as long as I check in, they give out free credits. I have over 350 just for checking in almost every day. I'll let you do the math to figure out how many days that is. And also, sometimes they give you bonus points if you do some voting, because there are challenges. You actually see up here there's a challenge section. I've entered a few of those, but I'm just not. I've had like one design that was in the top 20% for a challenge, and I got like 25 extra credits for that. So those are some ways if you really enjoy playing around with it and entering challenges to get more points and just see what everybody does. Here on this front page, these are not my creations, these are the communities, and you will see some of these have been made into video. I do not believe, now they may have changed it, but the last time I checked, to make video or to make your images into video, you need a pro account, and I'm just not messing with that right now. I don't need the videos right now. I'm mostly interested in what I can do as far as two-dimensional images, pretty much. When you do get credits, you will click on, they'll have a little bell up here, and it'll have a little number, and it'll let you know. You also should set it up to give you notifications to say, hey, make sure you check in to get your 5 free credits today. And you can explore this website however you want. I'm going to go over to the create button. I'll show you my creations later. But if we go over to the create button, this is where you start. And there's different, oh my goodness, there's different models that you can use. And if we click on browse all models, this is basically where you're going to start from. It will show you which ones are pro, which ones are fast. I don't know all the ins and outs of AI, but you will notice ones that have pro on here. I'm not going to use those. I'm not going to upgrade. I don't need to go pro. I need some basic things. There are ones in here that I like to use, such as I just choose them and start playing with them. There are ones, where are they? Oh, like this, like Starlight XL. This actually makes some like cartoony, cutesy, big eye characters, which are fun. There's a lot of anime models on here for people who do anime. I use the real cartoon a lot when I want I don't want realistic photo images. I'll use these. And then here's where we'll put the text prompt in. There's an advanced prompt editor, which will take you over to all these different, like this is the model, this is the engine up here, the AI model. And then the advanced prompt editor, these are like pre-written prompts that will put it into your text prompt. So like if I click on color painting, it puts in abstract art, complementary colors, fine details. I don't want to do that. We're going to go ahead and erase that out of there. These are just some of the ones you can play with. If you get into here and you like playing around with graphics and arts, especially, the reason I like to do it is I am not a trained artist. I love to see what it comes up with just with my words. But today we're here to see what happens when you start with an image. And choosing a start image, it's an optional thing, but that's where what we're looking at today, because I found that it does give us some unique creations. And if you're here from my last video, you know that I went and I downloaded this magazine artwork poster from the Library of Congress, and basically you can drag and drop an image into here, or you can click it and get your files like you normally would by choosing it, clicking it to upload that way. So we're going to go ahead and choose the black cat. Checks it off. It puts it over here so you don't have to do anything else. What I originally did was I typed in, let's see if this works, block print vintage poster. You don't have to type in very much, especially when you start with an image to begin with. I typed in my text prompt, browse models. Let's look, what should I choose? I don't remember what I've chosen before. I think I'm going to go down to one of the artwork ones. So if we choose the real cartoon, let's see what happens with that. We'll choose that one. I'm not going to do an advanced prompt editor, at least not right now. Control-Net. Oh, we're already doing that. These are different things you can do. Well, we're doing an image to an image, so we don't need that. So none. Image. Okay, let's do the noise weight. So here, how much noise to add to the start image. Noise means the more noise you choose, the more different your image is going to be. So let's go down to the very low end. Let's say only 10% noise. And then we just hit create, and it's going to cost me 1 credit. So I get 5 credits a day. You can see how I don't spend a lot. If I only come in here about once a week and I make like 5 items and I get 5 credits a day, that's 25 credits. So then I have 20 left over. That's how I've banked so many. That's how I've saved them. Create. It spins a little bit. You see all the things that you've chosen here. I chose real cartoon. This creation is still rendering. Oh, that one's kind of cool. Now, I will have to say, if your image, like mine did, have had wording in it, AI to me has not been, there are some other AI models out there that are coming out that are specifically made for doing wording and text. So it's going to take whatever you have and make it into all this. And what I did, because it's nonsense, right? I went and took the image. I'll show you later. One of the ones I did, I took the image and I put it into Photoshop and completely removed the gobbledygook. So what if we're going to do it again? This keeps it. You don't have to do anything here. There is like edit, enhance, duplicate, evolve, download, and then on your more, we've got share to chat. You can share it with people if you like sharing your items and getting feedback from other people. Feel free to do that. I don't do that mostly because I have enough things that I'm doing, including YouTube, where I interact with people, and I do have to limit myself someplace. And you can download. What I like to do though first is down here is the upscale it first. There's a creative upscale, which means it upscales and it makes changes to it. Animate. I haven't played with this yet, so maybe we'll do that. We'll do that in a future video. That selective edit means that you can take an item, say you're like, oh, well, I don't like where the tail is, right? Maybe I don't like how this tail looks. I'll do this. And I'll hit done. It cost me a credit, so you want to be careful. There's a negative prompt. You can add anything you want to remove from the image. And then there's the noise weight again. How much noise to add to the start image. More, the same as before. So let's take this up to like 75. Edit. Let's see what it does to the tail. I'm not always happy with the editing things. I've not done enough to be able to see. I do not like that. And it will do the, you got to compare thing here. It'll do the before and after. Like, no, never mind. I don't like that. Let's close that up. Let's go back to the start image and let's try it again with 50%. We're going to do two things here. We're going to do 25, 50, and then 75. And I just want to see the difference. So we're going to create, and I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go back to my creations and I compare the ones that I've already done to these ones that we're playing with. Yeah, that was for 50%. I was like, I wanted the cat. Maybe I need to add. I think this is really cool though, but that's not what I wanted. Sometimes AI, I think it just, and this is one of the issues with it, right? You're putting in stuff and you're trying to make a creation based on something, but it doesn't always, it's not reading your mind. This is not reading your mind. This is, we were working from an image. We didn't want a horse and a knight. The only thing I can think of, I have done knights in here. Is it going through my history and thinking this is what I want? Did I put knight up here? No, I said block print vintage poster. So what if I change, let's go back to this. What if I go up here and block print vintage poster black cat? Maybe I have to put that in. Let's see what it does. We'll keep the 50% the same. Let's see what it does. Now that is cool. That's more like it. I still think that's a lot more than 50%. I would have thought this been closer to 75 or 100 different change. But the colors are cool. The cat is cool. I kind of like how the cat tail looks like it's going through this little image, this little floral filigree thing down here. That's kind of cool. I do like this. I like this. I like the color on the cat. What if we go back here and we take it up to 75. Okay, we're going to keep the block print, vintage poster, black cat. Let's keep that, but we now got a 75%. Okay, we're getting more different. This is very stencil-like looking. I could see doing stuff, taking this and maybe working from this image and making some more stuff. I do like the plants in it. That's unique. Okay, why don't we just go ahead and go to 100%? What will it do? We're going to give it so much noise, so much differentiation. What's it going to come up with? That is completely different. To me, that is really, really different from the start image. Still kind of cool. I could see using this as a print to put on the wall. I could see using it as to put on a shirt for a cat lover. I really see this as like a poster for a dorm room. It's really quite pretty. This is a pretty cat. It did a really good job. So that is basically AI in a nutshell, playing around with it. So let me take you over to my actual creations that I did preparing for this. Actually, I was playing around and it gave me the idea to make this video. Go over to my creations. So here's all the ones I've done today, these top 5 right here. These are the ones going through the same process. Here's the first one I did with just little bits of change. This was not my favorite. Let's see, does it tell me? Yes. I put distress cat poster block print. Okay. Okay, so that's how I got that different look. The other ones I just said block print. Okay. See, the wording does make a difference of what you end up with. So if we go back, and then I went to this next one. This was probably like my 50%. This is really cute. That turned out really well, and because I put that distressed, and I just said block print, and it gave me a wooded background, it was more like a sign than a poster. I like that one. You guys are gonna have to tell me in the comments what you think of this process. This one turned out. This one's cute. This is a cute cat. The words are getting a little more modeled away now. It's still on it looks like a wanted poster. I feel like I need to edit this so it says wanted. What a cute shirt that would be. It's a great face. This is the one I have my thumbnail for this video. I thought this one turned out really good. To me, this is really a block print, almost like a almost like a screen printing. In fact, I think we'll go back and we'll try to put in the word screen print and see what we get. And then this was my 100% from the other one. I think this turned out pretty cool. This still says vintage distressed cat poster block print. Yes. And I also like this cat. You will find, for some reason, I think it's because people are cat crazy. Cats are very popular for decorating and videos. You know, cat videos are hysterical. And then here is another one that I did. I like this one. But this one's completely different from the original print that I put in there. So let's go back to create. And we're going to go ahead and use the start image that we had before. So let's add that distressed. Let's see what we get. Instead of block print, we'll put distressed screen print vintage poster black cat. I'm going to leave the vintage in there. And I'm going to do the noise weight. Let's go back down to 35%. Since that's a little bit different than what we've already done. And we're still at the real cartoon. As far as the model, this is one of those things like taking an image and transforming it to a AI and putting in an AI generator and using this image as the inspiration. That's kind of what I call it. They call it a start image. Some places call it a visual prompt because you're wanting this instead of typing it into the text prompt. But that just shows you how important your words are to this. I mean, that's basically what most of these AI generators are. They're text to image. In this case, it's text plus visual to image, which to me makes it a little more controlled by you. So hit create. Oh, that's cool. And it did that distressed. So the distressed word is what's providing the AI generator with the direction of putting this like on a wood, as if we screen printed it onto a wood plank. It's almost like still like an old, it still reminds me of like a medieval wanted sign in the forest for like Robin Hood. It turned out real, I like this. Now, what I did, I will tell you what I did for the one image that if you go back and look at my thumbnail for this video, it doesn't have the words on it. I took those out because I knew that would be distracting and misleading. But what I did was I went into Photoshop and I did some editing to copy other pieces that didn't have words, and I just kept doing it and duplicating areas and using a paintbrush and just getting it to the point where it looked just like blank. And eventually I'm going to go back over and put in real words if I decide to use the image to create a shirt or put up on Redbubble or something just for the fun, just to see if people like it. I don't sell much on Redbubble, but I do put it up there just to see if I get any interest and likes to say, oh, well, this image right away got a reaction from people and people like it. So that's mostly what I use Redbubble for. Let's go back to my creations. Let's go ahead. Some of these were made from other images too. Let's try a different picture just to see what else would happen. Let's go to create, back to create. If you want to start with a different image, you just hit the little trash button here. Choose an image. And let's choose some flowers. Let's do this image. This is an old postcard. Or an old seed card. Choosing this one. Okay. And we're going to change this because it's no longer a black cat. We'll put, let's say, watercolor floral bouquet. And let's add a vase sitting in a window. Cross your fingers. Let's see what, oh, I did the real cartoon. I should have did something different. Let's see what happens. Look how pretty this is. What was our percentage? I didn't even look at it. It's only 35%. Now, that's a lot different than this. To me, I feel like I could have got rid of the image and hit create. Let's see what we get. It didn't really get the watercolor. It really did better with using the image. We'll go back to the image. Let's choose this. Let's take this down to like 10%. See how different we get this time. That is way different. That one's very pretty. Oh, Mike, this is the difference. This is an image prompt. It's a start image. There's two different things here. That's the difference. That's the difference. I've been using the start image. Let's do the start image. Do this. Let's change our start image. Let's go down to 10%. We want hardly noise added to this, but we still want watercolor floral bouquet in a vase sitting in a window. Create. There we go. So now we have something very pretty. And if we wanted it, what if we did no noise? I've not done one where I said no noise. Let's do that, and then we'll wrap this up. I have a feeling all those words are going to be a problem. Those words were not a problem, but I feel like the other one was better. They're not much different there, but I feel it's still, this one to me feels more like the starting image. It feels more like that. So basically that's it. You can print this out and frame it. You're ready to go. So basically that's it. How do you feel about this? Do you think this is something you could use to create art for your own room? In fact, I'm going to be doing that here in a few videos. I'm actually going to go to a public domain website. I'm probably not going to come to the AI unless you feel like you want me to do a couple that way. I want to show another public domain site, and we're going to create a gallery wall in my office of just art we get for free off the internet, put into frames that I will probably pick up from Goodwill to decorate a wall. I don't know if it'll be a permanent decoration, but it'll definitely be a wall, and I'll probably move some art around. But anyway, again, the AI program is called Night Cafe. I'll put a link to it down in the description below, and please let me know what you think. Please don't be too harsh on me if you really are anti-AI, but I feel like it's not going to go away, and I want to learn how to use it, because I am afraid that it's going to encroach on my job as an instructional designer, and I want to be ahead of the game and make sure that I have the language and the skills to use as the industries, not just mine, as the industries and the jobs change in the future. So good luck, and I would love for you guys to share with me anything that you have created doing digital artwork, whether it's from AI or using public domain images to create something different and something that inspires you. Because I'd also like to know that. What does inspire you? What would you like to see to have help with? So just leave comments below, or hit the like button if you liked learning about this. It does help. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.